afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, relatives, and of course the class of 1993. I'd like to welcome you to the 1993 Burris graduation. One valuable lesson that the graduating class of 1993 has learned through its years at Burris is how to adapt to new situations. We have survived many changes together. The opening of the Indiana Academy, new administrators, the loss of valued faculty members, and the addition of new faculty members. We even managed to make the best of Trailer Park High, although we all miss the old building with its falling ceiling tiles and ceiling paint. However, the important thing is not what changes we experience, but the fact that we survived them successfully. Through it all, the Burris spirit remains strong. The students still question. The faculty is still innovative and resourceful. And both students and teachers cherish their freedom of thought and expression. That Burris spirit is what has held this school together. Now the graduating class of 1993 faces even more change than before. Society will become more global. Our lives will be altered by rapidly advancing technology. We will study areas that have yet to be discovered, and we'll hold jobs that don't presently exist. But Burris has taught us how to adapt. That Burris spirit will stay in us and keep us strong as we face the coming years. Although we're saying goodbye to friends and teachers, and even the trailers, Burris will always be in our hearts. I wish all my fellow graduates the best of luck. Thank you.
I would also like to welcome you to the 65th semester exercise of the Burris Laboratory School. Today we have some distinguished guests here on stage. Please stand while I call your names. The Dean of Teachers College, Dr. Theodore Kowalski, the Associate Dean, Dr. Roy Weaver, and Mr. Thomas DeWeese, the member of the Board of Trustees.
resort to analogies in order to help us understand their point. Since a picture is worth 1,000 words, I believe that an analogy must be worth a few hundred, at least. Therefore, I would like to present to you today an analogy, one which, in my opinion, relates to the senior class of 1993. Our class is like a big bowl of Chex-Mix. For those of you who are not familiar with the taste of Chex-Mix, it is an unusual combination of several ingredients that together create a distinctive yet appealing flavor. This product consists of wheat Chex cereal, pretzels, corn Chex cereal, peanut, and rice Chex cereal, along with a package of special seasonings. Similarly, our class is made up of various ingredients. Let me clarify the situation, however. The class of 1993 is now like a bowl of Chex-Mix. We did not start out this way. Our product was not made instantly, but it took time. In looking back on our middle school days, I can distinctly remember the groups which composed our class. There was the seditives, the jocks, and the social butterflies. We also had the brown nosers and the rebels, both of which illustrated contrasting behaviors. In short, we were separate little cliques. We were like individual bags of pretzels, peanuts, corn Chex, wheat Chex, and rice Chex, each one enclosed by a Ziploc seal. However, time went on. As we entered high school and began to mature, the fields began to break. With Dr. Foster's and Dr. Miller's retirement, the Academy's creation, our school's destruction, the concept of each Ziploc bag slowly began entering the large mixing bowl. One pretzel, one peanut, and one rice Chex at a time. Due to the size of our temporary building, we were forced to pass one another in the single hall for many days. Soon we began to accept the fact that we would be stuck with each other until graduation, and that we were ignorant not to make the best of it. As we experienced more sporting events, plays, dances, and other class outings together, we realized the genuine fun that erupted when we were in each other's presence. Our individual ingredients had finally combined. Despite the time it took for this mixture to develop, the special seasoning had been forever present. Responsible for our unique, appealing flavor were our supportive and dedicated teachers, the freedom and opportunities that were available to us, and the family atmosphere Burris provided. Without these teachers, our mixture would today be bland. Who can imagine eating a piece of cereal with the salty pretzel and enjoying it? This combination is pleasing only when appropriate seasons are added. Our class, the class of 1993, has been well seasoned. Each individual enhances the character of his classmates. My Chex-Mix analogy has served me well up to this point. Unlike the snack, our class cannot be reproduced. It is a mixture of individuals, one which cannot be duplicated. I'm proud to be part of you, class of 1993. I appreciate your influence on my life and will forever feel a part of our unique blend. Thank you.
Throughout the past several years, our social studies department has tried to teach us about our ancestors, our cultures, and our present lives, but not without some difficulty. A lack of money for resources has been a problem, so the 1993 senior class would like to give them something in return for their hard work.
Combining newsreel and motion picture footage, radio recordings, still photographs, and newspaper and magazine clippings, these award-winning programs document the social and cultural history of America, the eras, the movements, and issues. It's a complete series of 12 VHS video cassettes which are narrated by famous Americans, many of whom were involved in the subjects they describe. The documents present a uniquely personal and human perspective of social and cultural history, often blending recollection and recorded fact.
We would now like to ask Mr. Robbins or Mr. DeCarly or someone from the Social Studies Department to come accept this certificate, and the tapes have been ordered and will be here by next school year. day that will forever be etched in our memories. For today we say farewell to so many things, and we move on to new experiences. It is a day of sorrow, jubilation, and trepidation. We will weep as we say goodbye to friends. We will smile a smile of victory as we receive our diplomas, and we will shudder at the thought of all that lies ahead. We should not, however, allow these emotions to cause us to forget what this day means to each and every one of us. For myself, today is an exceptionally sad day because today I say goodbye to my oldest and dearest friend. That friend is Burris. We have known each other for over 13 years, and in that time, we have made many memories. We have laughed together, cried together, and we've shared each other's pain. Over the years, we have become comfortable with the other's idiosyncrasies. Many of you in the audience may think I'm unstable for personifying a building in such a way, but Burris is not just a building. Burris, the entity, is made up of a group of people, students, faculty, and parents, who share the ideals of an alternative way of educating. It is made up of people who really care about what happens to the students of Burris. Perhaps it is this alternative way of educating that scares those who do not understand what Burris is all about. It makes them feel as if what we do at Burris is not right. They come in with grandiose schemes of how to make Burris better, when what they really want is to make it just like every other educating facility. For as long as I can remember, someone has been trying to either close Burris or change it into something it's not. Some have nearly succeeded, but the family of Burris has always pulled together at the most important times to overcome unwanted change. The entity that is Burris is not of a physical nature, and that is why it is hard to destroy or change. You can try to outshine it by creating a gifted school and bringing in the brightest students and the best teachers, but they have nothing on Burris. You can destroy the building and replace it with a garish, sterile, and high-tech facility, but Burris will still live on. This never say die attitude has been instilled in each and every person who has ever been a part of Burris. It has taught us to fight for what we believe in and to take responsibility for our actions. Most importantly, though, is that we have been taught to think for ourselves and make our own choices. All of this has been taught to us in anticipation of the day when we are finally on our own and have to make decisions. Today is that day. My fellow classmates, from this day forward, we are in control of our lives to a great extent. We have reached a point where we must use what we have been taught and make life-shaping decisions that only we can make. The world is at our feet, and we can either grab hold of it or we can watch it pass us by. Whether you choose to reach out or to sit back passively is your decision, but it is one we all must make. That does not mean that we have to know as of right now what it is we plan to do with our lives. Many of us have no clue as to what the future holds, but we do know whether or not we want to be part of that future. To quote Shakespeare, there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophies. Today's pre-law student may be tomorrow's marine biologist. The point I'm making is that it does not matter what you end up doing, as long as you are doing something and doing it well. You may go to college and change your major a dozen times before you decide what you want to do, but at least you are attempting to do something. College, however, may not be the answer for all of us. Some may find that going into the armed forces or joining the job market straight out of high school suits us better. As long as we do not let life pass us by, we are accomplishing a great deal. We may not all end up making millions of dollars, but as long as we have done our best, we should never feel as though we have failed.
Good evening, graduating class of 1993. We finally made it. I want to present something to you that's very special to me, something that has represented to me the spirit of Burris, something that I bought for $1.50 at Goff's Variety Shop next to Concannon's. I want to introduce you to my wax owl. This owl has been with me for the past 4 years, and it has never been lit. It has always remained in a condition to preserve the spirit of Burris in my heart, as it sat quietly most of the time on my desk, next to my poodle lamp, velvet paintings, and other memorabilia of my high school years. My owl has always been there for me, through good times and bads. It knows all of my secrets and adventures, as well as my failures and displeasures. This owl would sometimes sit in my locker and watch my Wolves and Men class take pictures of the Beverly Hills 90210 gang to the hall and entitle it Wall of Studs. It's also gone to Concannon's many times in search of the perfect cream-filled Long John. Sometimes it would just sit there on my desk and watch me struggle through far too many U.S. history projects. Many 93 graduates didn't like those projects, and my owl confessed to me once he didn't much either. This owl would sometimes see Burris students walk through the hall in full costume or in a staged sword fight, which would sometimes result in injury, for one of Miss Nay's classes. My owl misses Miss Nay. This owl has also cheered the volleyball team on to many state victories. He remains one of the only animals, students, or faculty members who knows all the words to the Burris fight song. As I said before, class of 1993, this candle has never been lit. It has always remained untouched so that the spirit of Burris would always live on. But today, graduation day for our little family of Burris seniors, class of 1993, I feel that I must light the candle and release the spirit of Burris for many graduating classes to come. As you walk across the stage today and receive the diploma that you worked so hard for, remember my wax owl and remember the spirit of Burris. I will never forget how special Burris was to me, and I hope that Burris will never forget me or my wax owl. Thank you and good luck.
There are two kinds of expectations, those inescapably set by others and those that we set for ourselves. The Burris Baccalaureate seniors have set standards beyond those identified by the state, our school, and your teachers. You 11 seniors are to be commended for taking on a significant commitment to improving your critical thinking skills through creative efforts. You are successful in this program because of your attitude and your desire to work hard. Your attitude has served you well in the past. Your desire will sustain you in the future. It's with great pleasure that we introduce the first Burris Baccalaureate seniors and award them with the baccalaureate diploma. The Burris Baccalaureate seniors, please rise. Lisa Marie Beach. Alexandra Catherine Caldemeyer. Ryan Curtis Glore. Paul Hayes III. Scott Patrick Murray. Jason Allen Norick. Ann Julia Popovich. Quinn Primer. Michael Jason Rosamond. Kara Elizabeth Wallers. Carla Susan Draff. Dr. Borders, Dr. Myers, I hereby certify that these members of the class of 1993 have completed or have a reasonable expectation of completing all requirements for graduation from Burris High School, a first-class continuous commissioned high school in the state of Indiana.
Thank you, Mrs. Winter. Members of the faculty and staff, parents, alumni, and especially members of the graduating class of 1993. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Indiana Board of Education, it is my privilege to accept this class for graduation. As you receive your diplomas this evening, bear in mind that you become tonight a part of a long and proud and cherished tradition as graduates of Burris High School. Please accept the sincere congratulations of the entire University Schools community. At this time, I ask your principal, Dr. Mark Myers, to begin the presentation of diplomas. Thank you.
It is our privilege this afternoon to honor someone who's been a great friend of Burris. This educational leader has served as Associate Superintendent of Tippecanoe Community Schools, Associate Dean, and since 1984, Dean of Teachers College of Ball State University, as well as Professor at St. Louis University. We thank you, Dean Kowalski, for being a real friend and true friend to Burris. Congratulations. It is a privilege to address this class of 1993, and it is always a joyful occasion to take time to reflect with good people. Alfred Lloyd Tennyson, a great writer and thinker, wrote in his poem Ulysses, "I am part of all that I have met." If we accept Tennyson's major premise, let us examine what it is that you have met at Burris, what indeed you in part have become, most recently during your tenure as a student, as well as over a period of years. Rocket scientist, Olympic athlete, brain surgeon, author, actor, director, federal official, mathematician, corporate attorney, Yale graduate. These individuals are great thinkers, and not coincidentally, they're great writers. I hope you found our school-wide commitment to improve individual writing skills to be beneficial and will continue to develop your own thinking through writing. Robert Frost said it best, perhaps, writing clarifies thinking. Great writers are powerful thinkers. Revolutions have been conceived and matured and nurtured by great authors. Articulate writers are powerful change agents, and we need powerful change agents. To gain a perspective or a lens from which to draw meaning, we might read further of Tennyson's work. Yet all experience is an arc wherethrough gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades. And the experience of those graduates before you at Burris pursued goals and led lives that were clearly indicative of a different time, different values, and different virtues. It is generally accepted that the generation of our recent visitors, your parents' generation, my generation, sought one widely acclaimed value, the virtue of peace. We displayed a symbol for peace. We had a sign for peace. We read, sang, voted, wrote, and prayed about peace. Yet we learned through trial, tragedy, triumph, and sorrow that peace cannot be gained without justice. Simply put, without justice there was and is no peace. And we know that your generation, your arc, where through dreams that untraveled world seeks different virtues as high school graduates of 1993. If we were to conduct a survey of high school graduates sitting at this most significant academic event, we can predict with confidence that you seek one of the most powerful human rights of all time. You most likely seek control of your own destiny. You most likely seek the virtue of individual freedom. And we have become painfully aware that freedom exists only under specific circumstances as well. As peace cannot exist without justice, freedom cannot be attained in the absence of truth. Without truth, there is no freedom. It was written over 2,000 years ago, the truth shall set you free. To find peace, we must become part of all that is just, and to know freedom, we must become part of all that is true. This is the case in a church, home, community, school, or nation. Teammate, national champion, kindergarten teacher, Supreme Court justice, United States Senator, Congressman, Vice President of the United States, a homeless man and woman crowded on a slab of concrete on a rainy winter night. We are part of all this too. Assistant principal, teacher, friend, peer, teammate, coach, parent, partner, colleague, Christian, boyfriend, girlfriend. If Tennyson has it right, and we recognize that the vocations and the lives of others have been defined by the choices they made and the people they have met, then our lives are defined largely by the choices we make and those whom we meet. The critical question perhaps is this: what virtues do you seek as you complete your commitment as a lifelong learner? You may want to consider the conditions which must exist to attain all that you will become as a result of all that you have met, as you travel through your arc, whose margin fades. And as Tennyson put it so well, to become strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Dean Kowalski, Superintendent Borders, it is my privilege to announce upon the certification that you will have or you have completed the requirements for graduation from an accredited Indiana high school, I now, by the authority vested in the Board of Trustees and delegated to me, award you a high school diploma, which shall ever serve as a symbol of your achievement.
Starrett Asante Bartleson. Lisa Marie Beach. John William Bell. Amy Elizabeth Belinsky. Heather Ann Bilby. Peter Andrew Brooks. Dennis Ryan Campbell. Jennifer Elaine Cosby. Eduardo Ferreres. Ryan Curtis Glore. Rachel Lee Habansky. John Lamar Hampton. David Graham Haynes. Mark Ryan Helton. Melinda Sue Howe. Andrew Thomas Jackson. Angela Ann Kammer. Tad Robert Korith. Christopher Joseph McCoy. Edric Anthony McNary. Laura Michelle Mott. Scott Patrick Murray. Jason Allen Norick. And Julia Popovich. Quinn Primer. Sorry. Jason Michael Persley. Michael Jason Roseman. Michael Brian Ross. Mark Allen Staggy. Paul Andrew Gaither Stevens. Amanda Catherine Allman. Jason Allen Williams. Kara Elizabeth Wallers. Nicole Suzanne Spees. Paul Hayes III. Alexandra Catherine Caldemeyer. Terry Ann Bird. Carla Susan Draft.
Throughout my life, my parents have taught me many valuable lessons, one of which is that hard work and dedication pay off in the end. The payoff need not be extravagant. Merely an acknowledgement of a job well done would suffice. I've attended Burris for 13 years, and in that time, I have learned that for the most part, Burris also believes in the philosophy that hard work and dedication pay off. I have also learned that Burris promotes academic excellence. Because of the ties I have with this school, I felt I could do no less than to strive for such excellence. I was not alone in my quest for academic excellence. All of my fellow classmates joined me. At the end of this quest, 3 members of the class of 1993 reached the pinnacle of academic excellence. They obtained and maintained a 4.0 grade point average throughout high school. In recognition of their achievements, their parents saw fit to present them with golden cords. They wear these cords proudly, as well they should. None of the 3 got where they are by taking blow-off courses.
All three have taken advanced courses at Burris, as well as challenging Ball State classes. As difficult as their high school careers were, I doubt there is much that they would change if given the chance. It is my pleasure and honor to recognize the three graduating seniors with 4.0s. They are Jennifer Cosby, Carla Draft, and myself, Nicole Spees. I would like to thank our parents for supporting us through it all, good and bad. We couldn't have done it without you. In closing, I would like to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for indulging me as I recognize my classmates. To the rest of Burris, I say farewell and good luck. Never forget that Burris is something special, and it is up to you to keep it that way. To the graduating class of 1993, you may now turn your tassels. And finally, long live the golden shovel. Thank you and good night.